Welcome to Embracing Infinity, exploring the infinite oneness in the space of love and truth. Host Jennifer Rose is an international spiritual medium, healer, channeler, mentor, and transformational guide. Her focus is encouraging individuals to know themselves within the lens of their divine heart and highest potential, to evolve within the frequency of love and peaceful harmony. Now, here's your host, Jennifer Rose.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Embracing Infinity. I am Jennifer Rose, and we are on the Sacred Spiral Network over on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you all for joining us for a specially scheduled show today. As you know, we're normally on Fridays, but we have a lot going on with the planets and the stars. And so I'm here to help with my good friend, Danny Santos, who's an amazing astrologer. And we're here to help shed some light on all of the big shifts and why everybody's feeling so wonky and seeing so many pretty like wild things happen either in their personal experience or out on the world stage. So I know a lot of you have been really looking forward to this show. So we are here to help. Want to say hi to our friends that are joining us so far. I saw my friend Jeffrey is here with us too. So hello, my good friend. How are you? Big virtual hugs to you. I see Brenda has joined us as well. Hi, Miss Brenda. Thank you for being here. Hi, Maggie. How are you, love? Hello, hello. Miss Joni. Hello, Joni. Thanks for joining us. Good to see you. Hello, Charlene. Good to see you too, love. Thank you for joining us. Also, I see Every Kitten. Hello, and thank you for doing the hashtag live. Nice to see you. Thank you, Every Kitten. That actually helps the algorithms to get us in the feed a little bit more, so more people can benefit from all of the shows in Sacred Spiral, but especially this one right now, so more people can get the help and the information that they're needing. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Stacia. Hi, beautiful. How are you doing? Thanks for joining us, Stacia. Hello, Miss Jennifer McCormick. How are you doing, love? Thanks for being here. I know it's midnight over there in the UK, so thank you for staying up for us. To our friends across the pond. Hi, Nancy. How are you doing, my sparkle friend? Good to see you. Beautiful. And I know you're friends with Mr. Danny as well. So Nancy's the one who actually hooked the two of us up. So, and there is Miss Alice Trevorrow, the Sparkle Queen of Scotland, another dear friend of mine too. So very happy to see you, Alice. Thanks for being here. Yay. Yay. Okay. I see Kim Princess has joined us. Hello, friend Kim. Good to see you. Beautiful. Kim joined us on Sunday service. Is really happy to see us. We had a wonderful service yesterday with Miguel Gonzalez. It was magical. Hi, Kathy. Thank you for joining us too. Thank you. Yeah, I know, me too, right? Hi, Sarah. Thank you for joining us. Really good to see you. And I see my friend Jill Santos is here as well. Not related to Danny, but you share an excellent last name. So great to see you. Thanks for being here, Jill. I also see Lynn Juneau has joined us as well. Lynn's going to be live before me this Friday with Kaleidoscope of the Soul, 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 in the UK. And then I will be coming back on my regular scheduled Embracing Infinity at noon in Pacific, 8 p.m. in the UK with my dear friend Karen Perry, who's an animal communicator. So it's going to be dedicated to our furry friends this coming Friday. Don't want to miss that. She is amazing. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for sharing, tagging, subscribing, following, thumbs up over on YouTube. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much too. Okay, I think we're almost caught up. I see Shannon has joined us as well. I want to say hi to Shannon. Thank you for being here. Good to see you as we're all starting to come in. Let me just double check if I have any more announcements. We also have messages from the Enchanted Realms this Saturday. I co-host that with Shannon Rattay and Fran Pierce. This is where we give messages from the Enchanted Realms. So in addition to loved ones, angels, fairy, nature spirits, dragons, a lot of dragon energy recently. Oh my goodness, last week. So maybe we'll talk about that today as well too. But it's just delightful. And every time we run this show once a month on a Saturday, it really does lift everybody's spirits up. And it always ends up being on the right day when people need it the most. So we welcome you to join us this coming Saturday, 2:30 Pacific, 10:30 in the UK. So welcome to see us for all of that. So thank you for listening to all my announcements, and lots more great shows this week and next week as well too. So let me see. Tina has joined us. Thank you for being here with us, Tina. Greatly appreciated. Kathy as well. Thank you for being here too. Greatly appreciated. Good to see all of you. And Miss, Lisa's here. Hi, Lisa. Good to see you. You're in YouTube. Thank you for being here. Yes, Kim, the fairies are coming on Saturday. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have so much fun with that show, and we just did it for fun a couple times, and it was so well received. So many people came and loved it that it was unanimous when we asked, should we do this on the regular? And everybody said, yes, yes, yes. So we did. So, all right, my friends, I think it's that time, because I know you guys are eager to gain some understanding and meet the wonderful and fabulous Danny Santos. So let's go ahead and bring him in. Kelly, thank you.
Hello.
Hi, Danny. How are you?
Oh, I'm so good. I just have to shout out to Miss Nancy Muratella for connecting the two of us. Nancy, I love you so much, and it's such an honor to be on this show today, Jennifer. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny, for joining us and taking the time out of your schedule as well. Everybody needs your help. So thank you for helping.
Well, I got a lot to say about what's going on a global scale and astrologically the shifts and changes that we're experiencing. So
Perfect.
yeah,
So yeah, you're the perfect person too. Okay, I'm going to read your bio to anybody who's just getting to know you, and then we'll go ahead and dive in. Does that sound good?
that sounds fabulous. Absolutely.
All right, my friend. All right, everybody. If you haven't gotten to know Danny just yet, here's just a little bit about this amazing soul. Danny Santos is a visionary, healer, and astrologer behind Santos and Crystal Visions, where ancient wisdom meets modern spiritual practice. With over 20 years of experience in astrology, Santos offers transformative birth chart readings, spiritual life coaching, and shamanic healing infused with compassion, playfulness, and deep intuitive magic. In 2023, Santos traveled to Peru and was honored with the blessing of the Shipibo Tribe. I
The
hope I said that.
Shipibo. The Shipibo.
Shipibo, sorry, Shipibo
That's
friends
okay.
over there. Sorry. To serve ayahuasca, a sacred milestone that deepened his path as a healer. A certified breathwork instructor, Reiki Master, sound healer, and expert tarot educator, he is certified platform medium through the Los Angeles Spirit Academy. Santos is also a proud graduate of USC School of Cinematic Arts. Yes, yes. His work has been featured in major media outlets such as New York Post, Vice, Bustle, Well Good, BuzzFeed, and Outfront, and he's been a guest on popular podcasts including Lisa Rinna and Harry Hamilton's podcast, Let's Not Talk About the Husband, and Dates and Mates with Damona Hoffman. So, well, that's not a lot. Just kidding. Wow.
Woo!
Excellent. So we're so happy and honored to have you on board with us. And yeah, I've been getting a lot of questions what's happening with the planets, because it's just been a whirlwind for people. You know what show most people would say too. Yesterday, I know we had the eclipse and a new moon. Now we're in a new season, and more and more and more. I found myself quite emotional right at the time that the eclipse was happening. I was on my Sunday service and I was talking to my group, and we were talking about love and how to show love and everything like that. And I got myself on, and I'm like, why am I having so much? And they're, oh, the eclipse is at the exact same time. So it's fascinating how the placements of planets and stars affect our moods and how we're feeling and our energy. It's really quite fascinating.
Absolutely. And I think this particular eclipse cycle that we're going through is one of the most intense that we've seen in quite a while, especially because this is the year of the snake. So in the Chinese zodiac, we see this massive global shedding process happening, a refining, a perfecting. And it's as if, if we're the creators of our own reality, everything that is not the statue is being taken out of the marble. So we're in
Yes,
the
yes.
process of perfecting and refining ourselves right now.
That's funny. I've been using that analogy recently, and
Oh,
I've been talking about grace recently too. And then you just spoke about grace in your reel that you did, and I'm like, wow. So we're really linked into the energy. What you're saying is it's just amazing. Now I know you do a specialized kind of astrology. It's archetypal astrology based on Carl Jung, correct?
absolutely. using the
And what
Jungian
is,
archetypes. And
and
so
I love that. Yeah.
yes. So basically what I've done, and I actually, in astrology, there's an asteroid named Young, and I
Hmm.
have it on top of my
Wow.
Saturn, which is my chart ruler in my birth chart. So I have this Jungian influence that's been gifted to me from the stars. And when we think about archetypal astrology, what I've done is I've created a virtue grading system. So when I look at someone's astrological birth chart, I can view the archetypes and the planets and the movements of those planets and understand how it's shaping someone's destiny, their life lessons, and their soul's development. So I combine the archetypes of the zodiac up against the virtues of life. And what I do is I walk people through a 12-step program while educating them about the 12 signs of the zodiac.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. And I know when you and I were talking, you took a brief look at my chart and you're like, oh, there's that, and there's that, and there's that. And I was like, yep. I was amazed. The beauty of that too, Danny, was it kind of let me know like nothing had really gone wrong. Like this was all supposed to be this way for like the more hardships in life and little challenges I've had to face. And so that was very comforting for me as well. So I would imagine that a lot of your clients get that from you. They get a greater understanding of their life map basically and what they were supposed to do here and learn about too and where they're going.
Absolutely. And there's an aspect called the North Node, which is the direction that we're trying to go in this lifetime. It's what we're being
Mhm.
exposed to for our soul's expansion and development. And then there's the South Node, which is what we're already good at. It's the quality of the thing that maybe we need to even liquidate some of it so we can take in more of the North. So
Yeah.
the astrological birth chart is just a roadmap for our soul's development. And you know this already, but our souls are eternal. We live forever. So when we think about, if we're coming down to earth, what are we learning this time around? What
Yeah.
lessons and experiences did we want to have?
Yeah. And it matters, right? It matters like what we put into it, the effort that we put into it.
Yeah. Oh, someone's saying ayahuasca scares the heck out of me. Well, we can always talk more about that another time.
Yeah. Yeah. We've done a show on plant medicine with my friend Suri over in Costa Rica too. So yeah, we've talked about plant medicine before. She kind of says, I think she said puts that at kind of like the grandfather or the grandmother of some of the other plant medicines like, Jurema and
Even mushrooms
uh,
are a little bit more
mushrooms.
accessible compared to
Right.
ayahuasca is
Right.
like the full blown.
Right, right. So yeah, if you want to expand your consciousness, you could always start small and then work your way up with that too. So um, okay. So let's start with where we are now, and perhaps we could even go back a little bit just to kind of give people a perspective, because I know we're like in the age of Aquarius. So Pluto
Yes,
made a big change, right? I have
absolutely.
some basic knowledge from Capricorn into Aquarius, right?
Yes, fabulous.
And hi, Ronnie. Hi, Bernadette. And now we're here at this crazy eclipse with the new moon, something to do with Saturn, I heard too, as well, and the new season. And okay, so what do we do with all this, and where is it going? And
Oh, let's talk about how we are having some of the most major shifts happening in astrology.
Mhm.
So, as you mentioned,
Okay,
Pluto exited Capricorn going into Aquarius.
after many years, right? That was
Yeah.
a big dark night of the soul kind of
Oh
placement
yeah.
when it was in Capricorn, right? We were in
Oh
like
yeah.
world dark night of the soul. So COVID was no surprise that it would
Yeah.
come kind of at the end of that. Would that be correct?
Yeah, that's actually a great way of
Okay.
looking at it. And when I think about Capricorn, like what does it do on my virtue grading scale? What's the purpose of it? Well, it's
Hmm.
the sign of resilience. The master teacher, which is going to be the lowest vibration, is evil or the devil. And in the tarot, the devil just represents bondage. It's where we're
Right.
stuck in a lesson. And then the master lesson is self actualization, wisdom, and purpose.
Yeah.
So, Pluto going through this part of the birth chart, it forced us all to have to be very resilient. Meanwhile,
Hmm.
if I have my own personal theories on astrology, I call Capricorn the departure from the underworld. So,
Yeah.
whereas
Hmm.
Aquarius is heaven or enlightenment, it's going towards the light, whereas Capricorn's trying to find it. So, when we think about Pluto moving into Capricorn, or excuse me, into Aquarius, the virtue is non-attachment. The master teacher is the void, having everything stripped away. That does not, that is not the true self. And the
Hmm.
master lesson is enlightenment and service.
Mm-hmm.
So we're seeing on a global consciousness scale. I mean, in Nepal, they just had like one of the greatest freedom riots in the world, and we're not hearing about this on the news at all. But the Nepalese people came together, overturned the government, elected a new, I believe the word is prime minister, but I'm not totally sure. But like we're seeing these liberation and freedom movements happening, and Pluto, when it moves through Aquarius, Pluto is like the garbage disposal of the zodiac. You know, it's gonna suck out whatever doesn't need to be there anymore. It's gonna clear it
Yeah.
out. So
Yeah.
if Aquarius is non-attachment and enlightenment at its best, we're going to see, a lot of liberation movements, freedom movements, people coming together in global consciousness, the true age of Aquarius energy coming forward.
Yeah. I've also been getting messages of kind of like the resurgence of like the Renaissance. So the resurgence of the arts, like that even came up in my Sunday service yesterday too. And so I feel like there may be some resistance to that from what we might call the status quo, but I don't think there's enough power left or energy left to hold the arts back. Would that be correct?
Yeah,
Or
I
there,
we think about Aquarius as like everybody has a voice, everybody has a right. So even us doing this show right now, before, 50 years ago, if somebody wanted to broadcast, they'd have to be one of the select few who's on TV. Whereas the age of Aquarius, anyone can broadcast at any moment in time. You can broadcast your art. You can use auto tune to make your voice sound a different way. Like now we're not held back by our human, the process of being selected first of all, but also the limitations of like the human self. There's a limitlessness that comes with Aquarius.
I love that. I love that. Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you.
yeah, of course.
All right. Now, this eclipse, because everybody really felt it intensely. And I tend to be, a little bit conservative, and because I don't want us to blame everything on the planets. I want us to, look inward too as well, and take our personal responsibility for our own, unconscious integration and so forth. But this one, yeah.
One's coming in
This one,
strong.
we all felt it. Like everybody's been feeling fiery dragon energy, waking people up early. People can't sleep. Everybody's moody, emotional, irritable, angry, all kinds of stuff. A lot of creative energy too. So I've been trying to suggest that people channel that energy into as much creativity as possible. But yeah, what's happening? Why is
Well,
it so hard?
when we think about eclipses, they are the cosmic book of life turning its chapter. So it's,
Ah,
so we're going through the eclipse cycle of Virgo and Pisces, and I just did a reel about this recently. So if somebody's been watching, you might hear some repeated info. But we think about Virgo as the sign of order and alignment, and it's trying to achieve mastery and gracefulness. So
gracefulness.
grace being really that high virtue of Virgo.
Yes. Yes.
And then on the other side, we also have Pisces as one of the eclipse, the North Node moving through this sign. So Pisces is the virtue of love and meaning, having meaning in our lives. And then the ascended virtue of love again, because there's no cap on love, but also transcendence. So when we think about Pisces, it's the sign of knowing the darkness and still choosing the light. So, definition, making mistakes again and again and again and again and again until we get it right. Knowing the darkness but still choosing the light. Versus Virgo, which is just the light or the light denying the darkness. So it's about getting things right the first time. So this eclipse cycle is really spinning around us and creating this energy of creating alignment within ourselves to also find love or loving alignment. What that means is if there's a long-standing cycle that's been going on in our lives, we're karmically being forced to complete the cycle with love. And this is being reflected in a lot of major astrological movements happening. Between now and 2027, we're going light speed ahead. The age of Aquarius is going to take us forward. We saw Pluto enter Aquarius. Uranus is going to be retrograding back into Taurus this year and then moving into Gemini full swing. No more retrogrades in Taurus for the rest of our lives, unless you're alive for another 80 years.
Is that a good thing? Are we happy about this?
It's just like emotional. You know, I will actually comment on it a little bit more because last time we were
Okay.
in Gemini and Saturn was in Aquarius, and I believe when Pluto was in Aquarius, we had world wars break out. You know,
Okay.
so we're seeing astrology that's really reflective of previous patterns in humanity, but the age of Aquarius is about enlightenment and peace and unity. So we're going to be up
Hmm.
against the same frequencies that we've seen in the previous times in humanity, and we're souls that keep coming back. So it's
Yeah.
up to us as light workers, as healers, as people to stand in our truth and in our power in order to bring the cosmic frequency of enlightenment to the planet.
I love that. I love that. So, should we be less concerned about some of the things that are on the world stage? Because there are wars and there's a lot of destruction. There's a lot of chaos right now, and so chaos would be a good word to describe. I was having that conversation with another friend of mine. I mean, usually after the chaos comes the order, right?
Yeah, yeah.
comes the clear path. But could we take that as we don't have to worry quite as much about some of the scary things that are happening in the world because there's a shift happening? We're in Aquarius now, but just barely.
Yeah, yeah. What I would
So,
say is the last time that these major astrological alignments appeared and we did have war, we didn't have social media. We didn't
mhm.
have the ability as a human unit, almost like the mycelium network in nature, how the mushrooms and the trees and all the things can talk to each
Yeah,
other.
yeah, yeah,
We have this built-in mycelium network as humanity now, and it's called the internet. So I think what's happening is we're going to see a lot more interconnectedness and things that are, I mean, so some people are talking about the possibility of extraterrestrial life, angels,
yeah,
different frequencies
yeah,
coming in to step in, or I mean, with this this eclipse cycle, the frequency of grace being found, I
yeah.
weirdly feel optimistic about all of
I
this.
do too. I do too.
Like we're seeing cycles that have been going on for a long time are going to come to an end, whether it's now, immediately, or over the next 6 months. And the
Mhm.
cycles of getting it right the first time or finally getting it right after making the mistake enough times over are coming to create a divine resonance of grace and love.
Yeah. I keep saying walk with grace, everybody. These steps will take you far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Uh, we're trying to understand what grace is. It's like it's a
so many
special
things.
energy. It's a force. It's many things, but it's powerful and gentle at the same time. It even if you're at the lowest of your low, grace gets you up and walking with your head held high. It holds your hand and it's within you. You can cultivate it and discover it and find that magic within you. But
Absolutely.
it is like you said, the opposite of control and of which is more of our dark typal energy too. And with grace, you're in your authentic beauty, I would say.
Yes.
You
Well, and
know.
I'm digging through my tarot deck to pull up the strength card. So,
Oh,
are you familiar with this card?
oh yes, many of us are.
Okay, fabulous. But
You have the right audience.
yes, yes.
And there's her little infinity, which is my logo. So
Yes, absolutely. So I feel like she is the archetype of grace, and the lion is the like her graceful ability to gently persuade and to quiet without shame the inner animal. That's true
right.
strength, and if you can
Yeah.
do it without confrontation, that's graceful.
Yeah.
You know? So,
Not making people feel bad for who they are or how they're doing it. Just saying
yes,
there might be another way. There might be a softer, better way that you could
yeah.
get your needs met.
Well, and
Mhm.
I think about, oh, I like Maggie saying, is grace just pure love? I love that idea.
Yeah.
But I do
Yeah.
think about grace being this frequency of when you have grace for something, you have room for it.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that idea of like gently closing the mouth of the lion shut and being able to quiet the animal mind, that's one form of grace. Having
Yeah.
forgiveness for somebody else when they've wronged you is another form of grace. Thinking positive thoughts about something like it's in your good graces or serene grace, the idea of like
Mm.
even against all odds, against all chaos, against everything, you can actually just gracefully walk through the battlefield and not have a single bullet hit you.
Like Wonder Woman.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So grace, it a good example, a woman was yelling at me the other day while doing laundry,
Mm.
and I pulled my phone out because she was being very mean to me and I was going to record her. And my phone had no more room to record on it. So I was like, oh, the universe isn't going to let me get away with this. And instead,
Mhm.
I walked over to her very gracefully and I said, ma'am, why are you so frustrated? Because she had moved my laundry out of the machine. She was trying to put her laundry in. I walked in on it and saw the whole thing happening. And at first, she started yelling and saying, I'm deaf. I can't hear very well. But the second I approached her really nicely, she could all of a sudden magically hear. And in that exchange, I realized sometimes to quiet the demon, you just gotta be nice to it and level with it. And I ended up paying for her laundry, and I helped her figure out how to do it the next time around. And it could have been
Yeah.
this whole thing where there was all this conflict, but instead I chose grace.
Yeah.
You know? Those little moments. Grace is in the littlest of moments. That's what I've
It
learned.
is. It
In the
is.
details.
Yeah.
So
The man who wrote Amazing Grace, the song that we all love so much, he was the captain of a boat or a ship that carried slaves and went through his own period of darkness, and grace is what saved him. And he ended up writing that song and then going on to do very good things after that. He was a changed man. So grace is very redemptive and very transformative. So that's an energy that we can all cultivate and try to carry with us. And maybe we might not get it perfect 24/7. We might have a few minutes that are less graceful, but sometimes the moments of not grace will remind you of the power of grace itself. So that's
yeah.
a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah, well, and
Um,
something else I want to add just on the tail end of that is the idea of like in life, sometimes we have to have disagreements, or there's going to be a breakup,
yeah.
or a split, or a divorce, or, these things that create a lot of duality.
Right.
And if you can sever a tie gracefully, that is
Mhm.
really a beautiful skill to be able to do.
Yeah.
How do you divorce somebody? How do you break up with someone? With grace. And
Choose love. Choose
yes,
love.
there's
Choose
there's
peace.
absolutely
Yeah.
there's this word severity. So it's like if you're going to make a cut, do it the same way you would butcher an animal. And excuse me to my vegan friends out there, I don't want to make anybody butcher an animal, but
Right.
um, if you're going to butcher an animal or make a cut with someone, do it once, do it
Mhm.
quickly, and do it as compassionately as possible. And so that's another form of grace that
Mhm.
I've really been meditating on.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah,
Because I think out there right now, there's just a lot of the opposite, lack of communication, lack of closure. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
thank you. Thank you. Kathy is saying such a good reminder
Oh,
of, and hi to everybody who's joined us, all of your beautiful friends. And we've got a lot of beautiful comments. I just have to get out of my way for the grace. Just get put out of my way
oh.
for the grace. You can
Getting
do it.
out of our own way
Uh,
is a we do need grace for
yeah,
that, myself
sometimes
included.
just take a step back. Jeffrey says bravo, so he is loving that too. He's a very graceful, gentle, wise soul friend of mine too. Let me see here. Jenny's saying beautiful story. Arnie is saying very well put. Joni's saying excellent advice. We had a lot of comments about towers falling right now too. Aloha, Miss Vivian. So it's definitely been very towerous, tower moment. I always say it's okay if the tower falls, you're just going to build it back bigger, better, stronger with more sparkle.
Absolutely. That
Yeah.
I like the way that sounds.
Yeah, it's kind of the name of the game. I've with my experiences with spirit is evolution is like no matter what happens, you just build it back better. You just do it better. It's about knowing more love. So with every
Mm.
tower that gets higher and higher, if it falls, well, now you know more love because you're just going to build it back stronger, better, higher with more sparkle.
Yeah. When I think about the order of the major arcana in the tarot deck, after
Hmm.
the tower comes the star, and you literally said you're going to build it back up with more sparkle.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And so So this is good. I actually feel like the everybody who's watching right now and coming up and who will watch the replay, we've already taken our nervous system down a notch, just from feelings like there's some positivity out of all of this too, because there's been a lot of anxiety. People are
Yeah,
seeing stuff on the news and then they're feeling it, and it's hard to stay grounded and graceful and at peace
yeah.
with that.
I feel the frequency of grace present with us.
I
It
do
feels
too.
really, really
Yes.
present.
It is. It is. It's very powerful. It's very, very powerful. Um, Two questions. One, are there any other ways that we can manage kind of all of this cosmic shifts, and like what is this going to lead us into like in the months ahead? And we've got a couple more big things coming. So like what's coming? How do we deal with it? And what can we do to prepare?
Right. Well, we're Pluto retrograde, Saturn retrograde, Neptune
Mm.
retrograde, Uranus retrograde.
You see my
So,
face.
so y'all just get ready for the retrograde is going to be retrograding. And what does
Mm.
retrograde mean other than to go backwards? Retrograde, where you're going to be
Yeah.
graded on the past or reviewing the past. So, as we see these retrogradation moments happening, this eclipse cycle on the axis of love and surrender and all of those Piscean things, correcting your mistakes, and Virgo's grace and mastery and getting it right. I believe that on a collective level, we're being asked to focus on the day to day a little bit more over the next 6 months by keeping our head down, focused on the details, sweep the floor in your apartment, clean your bathroom, iron your shirt, eat a good meal, go for a run. Strangely, the frequency of presence is also going to dial up really strongly. And the
Mhm.
media, the news, the archetypal noise is going to be amplified over the next 6 months. And I do
Okay.
believe we are meant to actually walk with grace to not allow the media to be a thief to the mind.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Literally, these steps will take you far.
Yeah,
Remember that, my angels, too. No, you're exactly right. With a lot of messages in the comments about people have been cleaning out their closets and decluttering. So they're feeling that energy calling to them, too. I've been doing the same thing. When I'm walking up my stairs in my home, I've been doing it like very slowly and deliberately, to just keep me in the present moment too. So it's like it seems like there is a big need for, like you said, this presence, and it takes a lot of focus and mindfulness to do that. It's kind of like, if you're at the gym and your trainer's having you to do something really hard that requires a lot of balance and core strength, you have to put all of your focus into just that thing, and you can't let your thoughts go or you're going to fall down, kind of thing. It takes a lot of work to stay present, especially for us spiritual folks, because we like being off in Never Never Land. It's real fun over there. But we're going to get taken away by the energies of the chaos if we don't stay here. Would that be correct?
yeah, absolutely. And I do think that the larger systems that be, I mean, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but I think they benefit from us being distracted or out of our mediumship or psychic ability, spirituality,
Mhm.
sexuality, authenticity. So I do think that it's important for us during this time to really maybe spend a little bit less time on social media, maybe spend a little bit more time in prayer or meditation, go outside. The
Right.
frequency of grace can also help. Rather than having a really tragic divorce, grace could create a conscious uncoupling. Rather than having your
Right.
sister come and visit for 3 weeks and you fight with her the whole time, maybe she comes and the two of you find a way to connect with each other. That's a personal one for me. So,
Yeah. No, I love that, because when we're outdoors too, it's like you can connect with the wind and you can connect with the trees, and the spirit is there too. So it's very much about getting you back too. Maggie had a question. She said that she's had people calling her up from the past. Would that be very in alignment with what's happening now?
yeah, yeah. So we can think about eclipses are like a Mercury retrograde on steroids. So it's just like, you
Oh
know,
goodness.
traditionally kings would not leave the castle. They would not go into the sunlight during eclipse
Yeah.
season because it was believed that if the light of the sun, of the eclipse, touched their skin, they would die. That the cosmic
Wow.
page of fate turning its chapter would cause the death of the king.
Wow.
So we
Okay.
certainly see, I mean, these cycles are real. This is the divine
There.
nature of life, the divine timing of life. So
Right.
it's incredible to see the shifts happening. But
Right.
to answer Maggie's question, yes, people from the
Uh,
past, absolutely, this is part of this
yes.
period.
It's kind of a revisiting the past, or a just tying up loose ends kind of thing, or that, different reasons.
Absolutely, whether it's,
Okay.
learning from those mistakes and then finally gracefully correcting the mistakes, that's really what this is about. Whatever long-standing um, illness, disease, fracture, challenge, mistake, or lesson has been going on, over the next 6 months, we see the cosmic energy and vibration rise. So
Okay.
people will know the frequency of grace because of how they receive it on a soul
Yeah.
level.
I love that. I saw a lot of, hi Heidi, good to see you from Colorado.
I also want to say hi to
Yeah.
Lynn. I love Lynn so
Yeah, I
much.
know Lynn Juno's
Miss
here.
Lynn.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Um, One thing I saw around the Lionsgate portal, and then we had this next 9-9 portal too before all this happened. So Kelly, our producer, is a numerologist, and she was also warning us that this month was going to be very intense numerologically, also. So it's really just a buckle up, buttercup, now in the next few months, right, with all of these too. But I found a lot of things getting just exposed and like brought to the light, and I was catching people in little lies and things like that. It was totally unnecessary. And I was like, yeah, it's okay because people do stuff like, but I was noticed how frequently it was happening. And I was like, there's something very exposurous, almost like the sun was like burning off all of the illusions. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. And think about that refining energy
Hmm.
of Virgo. Virgo wants to perfect through repetition. So
Okay.
we're going to be given the opportunity. Think about doing your dishes. If
Yeah.
you like don't have good experience doing your own dishes and they stack up pretty frequently, over the course of a month, if you start doing your dishes every day, it's going to become a habit. And
Hmm.
then when you see the dishes are dirty and it's been, half a day or a full day, it's going to bother you. Once you level up, you can't go
Hmm.
back.
Yeah.
So it's the
Yeah.
metaphorical dishes of our life, whether that's a PTSD response or behaving poorly in a friendship or a relationship dynamic, maybe having difficulty uncoupling from a toxic relationship. These are things that are going to require a little cleaning up.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Polishing. We're
Yeah.
polishing.
Yeah. I like polishing. I like polish, just making things better. Um,
Exactly.
Megan,
Cleaner.
Maggie is saying she's such a Virgo too. I love Virgos. They get stuff done and they're very giving, and very hospitable too. I've always I know you guys are perfectionists. I get that, but you get stuff done. And I meet a lot of Virgos, and they've always been in usually some kind of hospitality industry or something. They're very good at giving and taking care and those kinds of things. I think that's
Yeah.
a good energy.
My parents are both
Yes.
Virgos, and they're both
Yes, they're good at
medical
that.
doctors.
That
So it's
makes sense.
service, hospital, so, and then
Exactly,
I'm a
exactly.
Pisces. So,
Yeah, aw. What how was that growing up?
oh my gosh. As just being I felt like I lived in Muggle world because my parents don't believe in astrology. They're not very spiritual. I mean,
Yeah,
I grew up Catholic, but
right.
to
So
see that
for them to
great,
be so scientific and that kind of way, and then and you're so spiritual and connected to these other realms too. I can see how that would
yeah. Well, and my
just
mom
rub.
is. We've got psychic ability on both sides of the
Oh
family.
yeah, I bet you do.
So it's like my mom is incredibly psychic, and she's like, "Oh no, that's just the thing that like happens," and I'm like, "Mom." But her Virgo mind, she's focused more on like the practical, the details,
Yeah,
those sorts of
yeah.
things.
Well, that can be a good balance for those of us who are, used to being a little bit off in the nethers. Just
Yeah,
we need to come back and get more focused. I have to work a little extra hard at it, but I get it done too.
yeah.
Maggie is laughing at us too. Um, Let me see. Okay, so Marina's asking how the cancers are going to be affected, and that was a question of mine. Are certain signs going to be affected more than others,
Yeah.
or
So we're going to see signs and placements in particular signs of the zodiac being hit the hardest. So obviously Virgo and Pisces, because the eclipse cycle is going through their sign. And then Gemini and Sagittarius are being aspected in a square to the eclipses, meaning they're approximately 90 degrees apart from the eclipse cycle. So we're seeing those signs being particularly, um, you know how like pearls are made with the grit of the sand and the agitation?
yes, yes, yes.
So we're seeing agitation energy for our Geminis and Sagittariuses to move towards grace and love, whereas with Pisces and Virgo, they're going to just have to like surrender to it, you know.
Okay.
Whereas, if someone tells me their sun sign, it might be easier to say based on a rising sign because that will show me where the houses fall in an individual's birth chart. So,
Hmm.
because the sun, I would have to see the whole chart in order to read it specifically. And people can always book
Okay.
a session too if they want to get their whole.
Yeah. Yeah, so
whole
there's
thing
his
done.
website, everybody. You can go to his website and you can book a session and he'll do your chart for you and you'll get all of these wonderful answers. I highly recommend it because I got a little sample and it was amazing.
Oh, thank you so much, Jennifer.
Okay. I just want to check to see if there's other questions here.
Yes.
Let me see. Okay, a lot of people talking about like their planets and everything here too. Some people are worried about World War III.
Mm.
Oh dear.
I
Let's
mean,
hope not.
it's a common thing
Yeah,
because every time Uranus is in Gemini, we've seen the Civil War, the Cold War, World War II. Like,
yeah.
it's a common theme.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have been concerned. Jennifer McCormick is asking, is it true a portal opened on the 21st of September and closes on the 21st of December? Anyone who chose before we came to stay in 3D will stay, and those who chose 5D will be fully locked in. Hmm.
Wow. Hmm. I keep hearing about this.
I've heard it too. Yeah.
And this idea of like some people aren't going to ascend, and supposedly the ascension happens on in the year of 2027.
Okay.
That's something that I keep hearing, but like the portal's going to close, and if we don't make it, if you don't make the right choices, like you're not going to make it. It's just
it
this repeated.
it it feels a little fear-based to me, kind
It
of a
is a
lot
little
fear-based,
scary.
and it feels more dualistic to me. And I know this talk has been going on since like the early 2000s, and it's been 25 years, and we're all still here together, Q. So I put a little questions there that there's a kind of a lack of love and inclusivity in that theory, but perhaps there's more to it that I haven't fully understood yet. But we're in a very uh, reality malleable situation anyways. Even though this place looks so solid to us, we know that it's like we're shifting all of the time, right? We're always kind of shifting every time we change who we're talking to or what room we're in and things like that. We've gone into a little bit of a reality shift. But yeah, that feels a little scary. It's kind of like saying, if in the religious aspect too, like if you don't believe this, then you'll go to heaven and the other people, everybody else won't. And even if they're
Yeah,
good, even if they've done good things, if they don't believe this, then they don't get to go. So
yeah.
it feels a little bit like an echo of that too, but I don't know everything, so that's just my opinion.
Well, and I'm with you there.
Yeah.
I just saw a post a couple days ago, maybe last night actually, about this
Okay.
woman responding to another woman's comments about how the rapture is happening tomorrow, Tuesday.
Oh,
Tuesday, September
tomorrow.
23rd. Yeah, the rapture.
Oh,
So the world is ending tomorrow, everyone.
we're all gonna die.
Yes,
Ah!
yes. But we've seen the rapture. There's a website you can plug in your birthday and
Okay,
how many
I was joking, everybody.
world raptures you've lived through, and it'll tell you. But one guy I saw in the comment section said, "I was born in '92 and I've lived through 41 raptures. Fancy that." So it kind of this idea of like some people are going to ascend and some won't is almost like a feeling of that same rapture conversation. you
Yeah,
know and what
yeah.
if
Go ahead.
Well, I
You
was
go.
going to say, what if the ascension, what if we're on the same plane and it's just a different vibration, you
I
know?
love that. I love that. And it's just a perception of how it's been perceived, run through our mental filter, and then worded out. We do have to remember stuff comes through a mental filter, and information needs to come through someone who has a very clear channel, which means they've done a whole lot of integrative work and on themselves to develop that clear channel. And what I also was going to say is what came to me was you talking about grace versus control. And so that sort of theme feels more controlling versus graceful. Graceful says, no, we've all got a chance and we all do it together and we're helping each other and we're holding hands and we're lifting each other up and no one gets left behind and no one's alone and we're all going to be included because everybody is spirit. Everybody is made from pure love. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, amen. And if you think like we're all given spirit guides,
Yeah.
without naming any names, and keep it, to ourselves in our heads, everyone, think of the worst possible person you can think of. Think of like somebody who's real, who you just either disagree with, or maybe they're giving you a hard time in your own personal life. That person has a mother, they have a family, they have spirit guides, and imagine that there's a soul that's looking after them, a spirit guide that's looking after them, an angel that loves them unconditionally with full and
Mhm.
complete grace, regardless of the mistakes that we make or they make.
Yep.
You know,
Absolutely.
there's like that
Absolutely.
level of unconditional love. It might be beyond some of our own human ways. I know I'm
Right.
still struggling just to be nice to people, that I'm like related to sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
No, you're very right. I had kind of a vision of that when I was in my dark night of the soul several years ago, and I've told this story many times. And Miss Karen, who's here with us, Karen and Barnophilia, she has a lovely podcast as well. And so I'm all laying in my fetal position, on my bed, going in my dark night of soul. And what's very common is you hear a lot of your unconscious thoughts of what you think about yourself, right? And so I'm being bombarded with thoughts, but I don't know where they're coming from at the time. I'm just kind of like, I just surrendered to these sort of like you're not good enough thoughts that everybody holds in the back of their mind. And I finally just said, yeah, keep them coming, because I was totally surrendered, totally stopped. And then I was shown the truth, which was that I was love and had been such a loving person, my whole life. And then I was part 3, which was that we're all seen as completely beautiful and precious by spirit, every
I
one of
love that.
us, perfectly beautiful and precious. Like I still get tears to my eyes when I think about it. So I was very lucky to be shown that, because it does help you hold on to grace so that you can, you can move out of your it's okay to have anger, it's okay to have a trigger, it's okay to be mad at something or be hurt at something, but it will eventually, the understanding that there is a light in everybody, will help us to bring us back a little bit faster and smoother, and find that also for ourselves within too. I love you too, Karen. so,
Oh,
so
hi,
thank you.
Karen.
Um, she's lovely. Karen, meet Danny, Karen. Okay, Miss Stacia Cherry says we can really try to, I can't read,
I can read it if
to
you'd like.
hold the field of love, even though we cannot consciously understand why these things are happening around the world or in our lives. Yeah, yeah. We can go through our experience and examine it and process it, and then also like come back to our love exactly too. Okay, let me see here. Maureen says, do you think this is a soul awakening period, Danny? That's a good
Absolutely.
question.
I do think our souls, the age of Aquarius, what's really cool, like I said, we got our mycelium network of the internet and people actually
Mhm.
having these conversations, and all of a sudden we're interconnected to each other. So I think if humanity is its own human organism, we might have some cancer cells going a little off, and a lot of them might be at the highest level of power, hijacking the entire system. So I think what's
Mhm.
going to happen is the collective, each age or each sign of the zodiac has its own version of who is God. So what were the wars about during the age of Pisces? But the holy wars. Everybody was fighting
Ah,
over who's God, which religion's right. So now God was God in the age of Pisces. We've moved into the age of Aquarius. Who's God? But the collective is now God. The collective, it's the group think that decides what's right or what's wrong. It's no longer the morality of a higher power, but it's that the collective, the human organism is the God. So I
Oh,
think,
wow. I love that. I love that.
yeah,
We're all aspects of the divine. That makes perfect sense to me. That
yeah.
makes perfect sense. I'd like to pull up Jill's comment too, Miss Beautiful Kelly, because she said she asked if she should be worried because of where her Virgo and Pisces placements are. She see if I can find it here. It was Jill Santos. She said, "Should I be worried?"
Love your last name, Jill.
There you go. I know, right? North Node in Pisces in the second house and South Node in Virgo in the eighth house. Should she be worried?
I mean, what this tells me is she's having her nodal return. So the nodes
Mhm.
return every 18 years. So at the ages 18, 36, and whatever 18 plus 36 is. I can't do that math off the top of my head. But we're going to see this nodal return.
54.
All right.
54.
So around the
Okay.
ages, 18, 36, 54, and so on. So we're going to see the nodal return. It's like it brings all of the life lessons to the forefront of your life. And if it's Pisces in the second house, your destiny is to move towards love, like a Pisces, but also abundance, joy, and acceptance, like a Taurus. How to learn to feel the joy and acceptance of love rather than the South Node in Scorpio, which is shedding the trauma of your ancestors, chaos, change, transformation. And
Yikes.
in Virgo, the master teacher of Virgo is control. So trying to get control over the fact that you're born into challenging life circumstances, family trauma, things that aren't even your fault. That's what the eighth house is about: death, taxes, inheritances. So, Jill, it's your destiny, and you're probably going to experience it, to move away from having to pay the debts of other people and just find love and stability within yourself, and then give it to others.
Yay. Oh, I'm happy for Jill. Yay. I'm
Yeah.
happy for Jill. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds like a beautiful, happy ending there for you too. Every kitten is talking about Christ consciousness, believe
Mm.
the second coming, um, world according to her brain.
Well,
That's cute. I
Pisces,
like that. That I like.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and Pisces is the frequency of Jesus. Think about
Hmm.
the fish. That was like Jesus's archetypal emblem.
Hmm.
And then Virgo is the Virgin Mary. So we're seeing Jesus and the Virgin Mary are aspecting these eclipse cycles. You know,
Ah, that makes sense.
grace and love are coming together, and they're colliding in the sky.
Hmm. They are,
So,
indeed, they are. That's quite beautiful and magical. Wow.
yeah,
Just gotta take that in for a minute.
and we'll see our
I,
next eclipse cycle happening in February. So right around my birthday, actually.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So to recap, buckle up. It's just going to stay chaotic for a while. But if we can stay grounded, clean out our houses, be methodical, be present, do things in small steps, not go off in the never land and watch too much news, then we're going to be okay. Would that be right?
Yeah. Well, and here's the truth, or at least this is the truth that's someone's whispering it into my ear, and they're like, "Make sure you say this."
Because you're a medium.
Yeah, the spirits are talking to me. They're like, "Look, even if worst case scenario, some asteroid comes and wipes out the whole planet, our soul is eternal anyway. We
Hmm.
came here for experiences. We're being asked to trust the process. We're being led into the dark, into unknown territory. And if we can show up as gracefully as possible and try to be kind to each other, to our fellow humankind, that's the best that we can do. Otherwise, there are
Yeah.
things that are outside of our circumstances. That's why this next 6 months is about focusing on the details,
Focusing on the details. Yeah.
and those details will create miracles.
Right. And being the other thing too, because this has been on my mind a lot, is using spirituality to be the best humans that we can be, right? Because I'm been some things I've been seeing and hearing have been really concerning me about using spiritual concepts to actually avoid taking like personal responsibility for your humanness. Does that
Yeah,
make sense? So would that
absolutely.
kind of make sense of like these placements now? like spirituality should make us kinder to each other, more loving to each other, not escape the human reality and not be responsible for our actions here. Um, would that make sense, kind of what the energies of what they're saying to us right now?
Yeah, and if we think about Virgo, it's the practical, the grounded, the physical, the real,
Hmm.
and Pisces is
Hmm.
the soul.
Hmm.
So it's like there's the collision or the marriage between the details and the divine.
Oh,
So
I love that. I love that. So heaven and earth combining together.
yeah, amen, amen.
Amen, brother.
So I want to leave people with the idea that I don't think the world is going to end.
I don't
I,
either.
I don't think the ascension is going to happen, and some of us are getting on this spaceship, and some of us aren't. I think just be kind to each other, because whatever frequency we leave off on from here, it just keeps going with you.
Yeah.
So try to
Yeah.
live in the moment.
And this reality, like I said, it's very malleable. It is possible that the ending already happened. We would never know it because it could just reset and start again, and we just would have no memory of it.
Back on the ride.
Just like back on the radio. So I put that out there and go, and people, oh, yeah, well, that sounds kind of funny. Miss Alice is saying, love is so important, not fear. Yes,
Mm,
choose love, choose love, choose love, choose peace, choose
amen.
grace. It
Amen.
really is that simple, isn't it? Okay, my beautiful friend. Now you have an offering if anybody wanted to book with you. Would that be correct? We've got your website here,
Yeah.
but I know you wanted to offer our group something as well.
Yeah. So if you book through the link, I believe it was put in the chat, but it's a $50 off. Normally my readings are 200 US dollars, and if you use that link, you can get for 150. So
Okay, that's
that's
a
going to
really,
be.
yeah, really good savings. Yes.
Yeah, so I
So,
just want to make that available to
okay.
people. I'd love to do readings for anybody coming through this avenue. It's been an honor to be here today.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Danny, for sharing all of your wisdom. And I do hope you'll come back. We might need you again at the next retrograde or something.
Yeah,
when we
well,
when we've forgotten some of what we heard and we need another reminder.
well, I just have to tell you, Jennifer, it's such an honor to meet you and to know you. And thank you to Nancy again for connecting us. And a shout
Yeah.
out to Lynn. I've
Yeah.
I feel the frequency of grace with me through this conversation, and I thank you. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. Lots of love to you. Lots of love to you. Any final words you'd like to leave with us?
Uh, I guess all I want to say is I love you, I see you, and baby, I am you.
Yes,
Because we
yes,
are
yes.
all one in the human organism of life.
Thank you, my man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, everybody, please come back Friday for Kaleidoscope of the Soul at 10 a.m. and Embracing Infinity with my friend, animal communicator friend Karen Perry at noon Pacific and 8 p.m. in the UK. Messages from the Enchanted Realms is this Saturday, 2:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 in the UK. It's going to be a great week. We've got this, everybody. Live well, love you well. Shout out to Kelly Bricker, our producer. She took time out of her own schedule so we could have this special show. So I want to give her a big thank you for honoring us with an extra show this week. A lot of thank yous and happy happy campers here that they've gotten some some helpful information here today. And as like I like to say, everybody, walk with grace. These steps will take you far. I love all of you very, very much. Have a beautiful evening and a beautiful week ahead. And we look forward to seeing you all very soon once again. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Big
Bye.
blessings.